615 BNA. We got that fly DNA. It's our Delian Foundations. And we appreciate your patience. Don't bring trouble.
Yo, welcome to MC2MC. I'm your host, Foundito.
What's good, y'all? My name is Adeli, and our special guest in the building is Seddy Mac.
What's up, y'all? What's up with y'all, man?
How you doing, man?
Good to have you here, bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all inviting me to come out here.
Definitely, man. I'm loving what you're doing in the city, everything that you're doing. Explain Lost and explain Seddy and how that corresponds.
So, Lost in general is, I've had that name for about 7 years. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a brand that I was thinking it was even going to be a thing, but Lost kind of started off, first off, Lost stands for Life on Spiritual Thoughts 1. Lost also came from a song that I had back in 2013 that was called Lost. So it was sort of like a very negative, depressing type. It started off that way first. I was going through some shit myself personally when I was back in 2013. And then the older I got, it just became a changing concept. So whenever it started flipping into, okay, Lost is not really just a bad thing. Yeah. Lost just is. Mm-hmm. And it's all about, you know, just searching, like the breadcrumbs, the journey, like just figuring things out. Like the wandering concept, so to speak. Because, you know, there's like the, what's the analogy? Like not all that wander are lost type analogy, right? Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, okay, this is literally what my whole brand just stands for. So I'm always like, the unknown, question marks, all that kind of shit is just like really just what Lost is at this point in my life now, and just embracing just like what that journey could really be like for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's going to identify with that.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's what it's about, connection. Mm-hmm. I think if you connect with a person, that's how you get a super fan, so to speak.
Right.
That's how you get somebody who relates to your background, because everybody has a story that's unique and original. So it's up to us to kind of shine that light on ourselves so other people know they can go through the same struggle and be successful.
Right.
You know,
I think a lot of people aren't really in touch with like their spiritual side. You know what I mean? They're very in touch with reality as we've been presented just through the world, through media and through everything else. So it's admirable to just make that part of your brand, first of all. And also, like you're saying, like you flipped the switch. Like it started off as something negative, but you grew into it and made it something good.
Right, exactly. It's just like, also like, even with like the spiritual thinking part of it, it's like, sure, you're correct about the spiritual side, but then also it's like, it's also about like thinking logically about like what your next move is too. So it's like thinking logically and then feeling things out spiritually too. So it's like a tandem of both sides that you just need to be a complete, you know, all around kind of person. And this is my opinion.
No, you need that. You need both. I think that's the thing about artists. We are hustlers too. We selling our art, you know. Mm-hmm. This is our masterpiece. We kind of got to be vulnerable, because I heard you mention in an interview about it's hard for you to put out like a whole project because you're gonna get vulnerable on it, and you want to expose yourself to, you know, the people, and expose yourself to social media, because we know social media can be, you know, chaos at times. Mm-hmm. But it's like you got to use it as a tool, and you're using your vulnerability as a strength, and I respect that. So
yeah, man, for sure. A lot of people really. What I realize when it comes about the vulnerability side is like there's a lot of things, a lot of courage with it, one, but two, a lot of things that you would say that a lot of people would want to say, but they don't know how to say it. But then if you have like that real power of just like saying what you really feel, or just like just the strength of just knowing like, okay, cool, I've been in this, like even though now like depression is sort of like a tagline for everyone, it's not like really like, it's now a lot more comfortable to go talk about that. At one point, it was lame to talk about being depressed.
Yeah, you get
like
shot upon. Yeah.
Like just in general, just people just look at you goofy as shit because you would talk about your feelings as a man or any person. Like it just wouldn't be some cool shit to talk about. But now it's more open to be, you know, emotional or just care in general.
Like
and
mental health.
Right, exactly. Like that wasn't even a thing that people talked about either, especially with black people. Like that was cliche.
Exactly.
But now it's like
now it's like the new cool. It's like, fuck yeah, I'm depressed, man. You know
right, it is. And now it is though.
That's how you got emo rap. That's how you got emo rap.
You know? True.
For real.
So what kind of music you into? Like, are you into like emo rap? Like I fuck with like XXXTentacion. I think his music is like, you know, past his time. So I think he was like really, really mature at the time he was, and really musically inclined. Right. And I think he could, you know, had, you know, bigger success than he has now. So what kind of music you listen to? You listen to emo rap, or is it alternative music?
I listen to a little bit of everything, but I mean, shoot, honestly, if you want to really get into it, Kanye was the one that kind of started, in my opinion, started off like most of this shit. So it's like Kanye West is my favorite artist ever. So I mean, I kind of like off jump, I'm gonna like that anyway, because who doesn't like 808s and Heartbreaks?
Man, I lived
you know what I'm
album.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, so when you talk about like an XXXTentacion, rest in peace to him. You talk about a Juice WRLD, rest in peace to him. You talk about even like Lil Peep, like all these people like had like that sort of like emotional type of style of music. Even shit, if you want to even talk about Drake too, like he gets in that spot too. He's also one of my favorites. So it's like I always kind of have a certain relation when it comes to like emotionally driven music as a whole. So like Drake, Childish Gambino, Kanye West.
I heard Lupe when I heard your music.
I fuck with Lupe too. Yeah.
Cool.
But I wouldn't say he's like an influence, so to speak. But I definitely respect like lyricism as a whole. Just like with him, like who doesn't like, especially if you're a rapper in general. Like who doesn't like Lupe Fiasco?
Totally.
Nah, for real. I grew up on Lupe, actually, Food and Liquor, and also The Cool.
Oh yeah, The Cool is, to me, The Cool and Tattoo on You to me are like my favorite. Like
the intro,
Mural. Makes no sense how you can just rap like that.
I mean, he made me like go back and reflect on myself as an MC. Like I was like, what am I saying?
Lupe is different, man.
Go back to the drawing board, but it helped me step my game up.
Keep your bars sharp for sure.
For real, and honestly, like even off the rip, freestyle was. I saw, I think it was a Sway in the Morning interview with him rapping, just off jump, just off top, just freestyling crazy, like guys like him and even Black Thought too, just off top freestyling, just like
incredible.
There's a lot of skill and just in general that just comes with freestyling that I don't know if people really think of when it comes to like this. Freestyling is not easy.
Totally.
But you're good at it. I seen you at many ciphers. You know what I'm saying? What did a cipher do for you? How did a cipher inspire you? I know I seen you at a lot of them. Cipher North.
I can say, okay, off jump, I started off. My start at music in general was like I kind of like. I think I've said this a couple times before, but I don't mind. So my first initial start when it came to music was I was 17 years old in my first period class, in my multimedia class, and there was a guy that was on the dance team, another dude that was playing football. He was a receiver playing football. He also played basketball too, and they were just like, I don't know how they did this shit, but they just had these beats on this fucking iMac, and it was like, yo, just come rap. Like, just come rap on these beats. I'm like, the fuck? Like, I'm not trying to rap on this shit. Like, I'm not even a rapper.
Oh, you didn't rap at the time?
I mean, no, I didn't, because, like, my mom didn't play rap in the house. Like, rapping was never in my cards, ever. Like, I never was. I'm shocked I'm rapping today. Like, I was never supposed to be a rapper, ever.
That's dope. Yeah.
But it was like they just kept doing it and kept doing it. I was like, I just want y'all to stop fucking with me. Just leave me the fuck alone. I ended up freestyling in my first period, so they just stopped fucking with me, and they ended up liking it. And literally since then, like, I never like stopped freestyling in general, because I literally started freestyling like from there on. Yeah, man. So
you actually you got bars, bro.
I really appreciate that shit, bro.
Because I see you from like the Broken Spoke when you doing poetry and spoken word, because you do spoken word too, right?
I actually haven't officially said I've done spoken word, but I've tried like in my own time. But who knows? Maybe one day I might do some shit.
Bet. And you work with like Sumo Dope.
I haven't yet. That's crazy. Yeah. That's like, you're like the third person that's like, yo, you need to go work with Spoke, Sumo Dope. Bro, that's crazy.
Kid's crazy. I mean, shout out to Sumo Dope. Like,
yeah, man.
I mean, it's different from spoken word and Sumo Dope, but he's equally talented as being a poet and a producer.
Yeah.
Facts.
I feel like when I hear your music too, like you mentioned Kanye, I hear like a Chicago kind of vibe too, and I feel like that's what I hear from Sumo as well.
Yeah, like a Chance the Rapper kind of vibe. You know
Chance is hard.
Very soulful. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like even if you think about Kanye, his transition from going to songs like albums like Yeezus and changing the culture, you know. And when I hear your voice, I hear like you on more funk tracks, like West Coast music. Like who you influenced by in the West Coast?
On the West Coast side, well, honestly, the only guy I can really say I listened to on the West Coast side was Kendrick, honestly.
Okay.
Like, K-Dot literally changed my whole, like, perspective on, like, raps to me. Because at first, I'm a real melody guy. So that's why I was saying earlier, like, those other people I was naming, like, Chance and, like, Childish and Drake and all. Even some of Kanye shit, even with 808s, right? It's super melodic. And the melodies really get you tuned in to, like, the rest of it. You don't have to even be the best rapper in the world, even when it comes to, like, guys like 50 Cent. 50 Cent is hella melodic. So it's just like the melodies really get you tuned in. But then like if you listen to songs enough, like if the beat's good, the melody's good, you're gonna start catching the words at some point.
To catch this. You gotta reflect.
It's like a weird science to it.
Mm-hmm. And everybody has to like when you listen to melody. Some say you gotta listen to the vowels. The vowels will reel you in, just based on the vibration of the vowels. That'll bring people in and more allure it's just to get the melodic.
So I heard in one of your tracks, I don't remember the name of the song, but you said you go from Ville to Ville. Mm-hmm. And then you also said you're not from here, but like you basically get your respect here, though, right? Mm-hmm. So where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay,
that's my birthplace. But then, like you said, I got a lot more of my start, I guess, because my journey in music, right? I was in the military. So I first started off like getting my start in music, so to speak, like when people started kind of knowing who I was when I was living in Augusta, Georgia. Augusta, Georgia is where I did like, that's what like I dropped my first mixtape and all my other shit, like pretty much like some of my more quote unquote like classic stuff that people know me for started off there. Like even the songs I do now, like when I do songs like Invincible with a band, or when I do songs,
The Vision is hard too.
I appreciate that. The Vision is later, but when it comes to like songs like Nostalgic Poetry or like some of these other older songs that I have, like they started off slick there first. And then whenever I got out of the military, I moved back to Clarksville, where I graduated high school from in 2010. I just went there and I was doing music there from like 2015 to like 2018 or 19. Mm-hmm. But then from that point, from there, I was like, because Clarksville didn't really have like an open mic scene or like really a place for me to go really start doing things musically at. So from there, I was going from Clarksville to Nashville, just like open mics, freestyling, like ciphers, whatever the case, for like easily a good like 3 years.
Bro, I seen you at Flamingos, Broken Spoke, like Cypher North.
Name it.
Iris, Name
it. I was pretty much at it.
I used to go to his stores and actually look for what was popular.
Which is nuts.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was like on everything. And then from then, like when I actually moved to Nashville, I just kind of felt like I was like, I've already kind of been here because I was already like frequently coming to Nashville for the past like 3 or so years. And then when I actually like moved here, the whole energy for me just felt completely different. Mm-hmm. And it's like you said, like I got embraced so much more, I think, musically in my career in Nashville than like any place I've been. Yeah. I'm super grateful for that.
You mentioned Clarksville. I know you did a track with Tim Gent. Mm-hmm. Was that where you met him, or was that here in Nashville?
I met Tim slick before, all right. He's probably not even gonna know this shit, but I met Tim. I was kind of just like, okay, let me go back a little bit. I first met Case Arnold first. Case Arnold, I've known him since 2012, I think. So when I met him, he was always talking about Tim Gent because those two were like under the same management at the time. Yeah. So then whenever I moved, every time I was taking, because I was still in the military, when I was going on like either like my mid-year, I would take trips back to Clarksville like twice a year. So every 6 months, I would like take like a 2-week vacation or whatever, come to Clarksville, and then whenever it came to like Thanksgiving, Christmas time, whatever the case, then I would come back again for another 2 weeks. One of those times I came back, I happened to come and stumble across Tim. He had in 2014, he was driving Clarksville nights. He had a little listening session at his crib in his garage with him. That's where I first met Petty at. Okay. Dope. And they, people really like fucked with him. And they just came from Nashville to Clarksville to go and just see what he was on. Wow. And that's kind of where I slipped. Like when I first met him, and I was like, okay, bet these people are really on that shit. So let me really just tap in. But literally like since then, I was like, let me just go and just like keep my head up, see what's going on, because like these are the guys in Clarksville. I mean, that was like really like moving like that. So I was like, all right, let me just go and just not really like copy what they're doing. Let me just peep and observe what's going on.
Was that the where the La Familia came from? Was that a Clarksville thing with Case Arnold, Tim Gent, and you?
Not with me, but I don't know. That's really more so of a question for Casey, because I don't know actually like the start for Still Familiar actually for Case, but
yeah, because I see everybody rocking. I mean, one time it was me, you, Free Will, like 3 other people rocking the same shirt at the same event at the Flamingo. And
that shit was nuts. I remember that shit too, because it was like I was just out here, like I was just like just wearing my own shit, and then you just like people just came up and just pulled up with my my Lost shirt on. I was like, oh damn, like I didn't even know it was even like that.
I'm seeing that everywhere now. So you're doing something right, bro.
That shit is surreal, bro. Like that, I was never expecting this to go anywhere the way it did.
Yeah.
Like it was just more so like I was at work. This was last year, I think. Yeah, 2019. I was at work. I was working my 12-hour shift just at my desk, whatever, just at home.
Yeah.
And what was going on was, all right, bet I'm gonna just see what I can do with this whole loss thing. So I'm just sitting on my desk and I'm just texting a whole bunch of people on my phone, like, okay, I'm about to get ready to do pre-orders, $10, just texting. I didn't even put it on the internet yet, just text people on my phone. Then all of a sudden I was like, okay, I've had a shirt design before, it didn't really do that great. So I wasn't like super excited about like, okay, I'm gonna like this shit's gonna do crazy, like number, I'm gonna get so many sales and
But you believed in enough to put it out though.
Oh yeah, I mean, I believed in the brand at least. Like I feel like at least even if I didn't do a lot of numbers for it, I feel like what I was talking about with loss and what it meant enough for me to go like for even if it was just me getting it, like that I'm gonna do it regardless. So whenever I did that and started texting a whole bunch of people up, literally in a matter of hours, I made like 20 or 25 sales like in a matter of hours. So I was like, shit, I made like almost the amount of money I was gonna make to go like make the shirts anyway to get them made. Man, so I was like, oh bro. Shit, that's amazing. Like maybe I should just go and just double up this order and just see what this 100 does. Like just make like 100 shirts.
Flip it, yeah.
All right. And then when I did that, I slick almost sold like all of that black and gold one. Yeah, I slick almost sold all that shit like now.
I did see it everywhere. It was like a pause and then everything was like lost.
Right. That shit really was like. I'm super grateful for that shit, dog, because like I really was not thinking it was gonna be the way it was. Like a whole people really like fuck with me enough, just with me as a person, just enough to just be like, bet, you know.
Did people even know it was you at first, or did it was like anonymous at first? Then they found out it was Seddy Mac.
I think I don't know. Like the weird thing about it is like when it came to the whole Lost thing, Lost kind of it grew into its own thing. But then the people that knew that it was from me just knew it was from me. I don't know how anybody else that saw it outwardly saw it. But they just saw that, damn, people just got this lost shit everywhere. They just want to just find out where to get it from. Yeah. But I think the ones that knew,
city, man. Yeah.
Right? I think the ones that knew, like the ones that like knew they got it from me, because like shit, everyone that I knew that got it, like I know because there's no store. The store is me. Like it's out the trunk. So I think those individuals, like they obviously knew it was me, but I don't know, like. You know, if they had like a friend, it's all like, what the fuck does that mean? Like
word of mouth is still the strongest promotion.
Facts. It really is. And we definitely gotta keep that in mind. Like word of mouth is very, very strong when it comes to like anything. Like if people was like, yo, like this is a new thing, and they keep saying that's a new thing, then you're gonna want to go check out whatever the new thing is.
And you just dropped a new project, right?
I have not dropped a project yet.
2020, dropped the single.
I dropped the single for sure.
Yeah, for sure. The Fasado? Fasado?
You talking about no, the new shit I dropped this year was show. Oh, no. The Virtuoso, that shit came out in 2015, 16. It was 15.
Okay, bet. And that's one with Tim Gent, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the meaning of the song was talking about how Nashville is the next one up. And what's your perspective being from Clarksville, coming from the Nashville area?
What do you mean, like exactly how Clarksville scene is? Or you talking about how I feel about how Nashville is right now?
Yeah, I mean on the rise to being the next thing in hip hop.
Oh,
next thing in music. Period.
Oh, that's gonna happen. Like that, I was even thinking about it before at that time because I was kind of like, I just knew a whole bunch of people that was here that was really dope. But like now, like if I don't know if you are aware of the scene here in general and just been paying attention, because like I said, I'm a super observant person.
Right.
Just watching like Nashville's getting seen on Forbes. Nashville's getting seen on NPR. They're getting these major publications like talking about them more. Getting seen on like Sway in the Morning.
Yeah, shouts out to Nashville, man.
For real.
Stand up.
Been moving like motherfuckers recently. So it's like just being tapped in and just knowing what's going on. It's like before, I even remember back in like 20. It's crazy. Like stuff can happen. Like even before we even started this, like. Shit can happen so fast, and like it could take 2 years time, and things can just switch like boom, like, and now everything just changes immediately.
Right.
Because I remember I was at this show back whenever shout out to Namir, Jordan, and all those guys over there. They had a show for this drown event, and there was this one lady that just came through. And she was like, "Where's all the hip hop at in Nashville?" And I was like, "It's here." Like it was that conversation before, like that people didn't really even know like that Nashville even had it.
Yeah, it's so in a pocket, so different pockets.
Right.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's like if you're really observant, you just like everything I just said with like the social media attention, seeing like Delisha Davis doing what she's doing, shout out to her, or what she's been doing, shit.
Exactly.
Just like
healing the game.
Right. And just watching just everyone just really just evolve doing their shit right now. Like there's no way you can't say like Nashville's not gonna do something in the next like easily at least 2 years.
Maybe tomorrow.
And that's me being really generous right now. I feel like he'll be here next year type shit.
Yeah. I think it's moving in the right direction too.
So I've definitely been listening to the project you dropped. There's an EP called Veli, right? When did you drop that one? I like that one a lot.
I appreciate that. I dropped that back in 2015. That was the first project that I dropped that was, because before, like I said before, I'm like super melodic, and also like I like a whole bunch of jazzy type of production, and that was the first time I was like, let me go see what this other like more, I guess mainstream-ish, like more like I had the song on that called Black Tar, which is like one of like the first songs that I did that was like more like 808 heavy, like
It's a dope track.
Right, appreciate that.
It's inspired by 808s and Heartbreaks.
Not like that, but more so just like the beat was like, you know, doom, you know what I'm saying? Like it had like a lot more of that bassier sound to it. I've never rapped on like something like that before.
Yeah.
So it was like whenever that, at least at that time, I had a manager at that time that was like telling me like, yo, like, cause he's from Atlanta. He was like, yo, you need to like start like doing
Some
more.
bass.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Why not? I feel like I can rap on anything. Let me just give it a shot and see where it goes. And then from that point, I'm glad I had that, because then later on, I started to be able to like do certain things, like you said about the virtuoso. I'll have songs like Re-Up, which is a more like
trap heavy. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So then it's like it's already in my wheelhouse, and the virtuoso to me is like it's just a showcase for me, just saying I can rap on different shit.
And it just reminded me of some Lupe, like he was saying earlier. It just reminded me of an adventure, you know, like back in the day, like Reasonable Doubt.
Right.
I'm reading the book Decoded. He Adela gave it to me, and it talks about how he's going through like the hustler and the artist and the duality between that, you know. And that beat reminded me of that, like Reasonable Doubt age.
I like the track Stargazing a lot. That's really dope. I would say probably my favorite track I've heard so far is Honest. Yeah, what inspired that one?
I'm trying to think, 'cause I haven't heard Honest in a grip. But Honest was another one of those kind of like I'm referencing this now because I guess I have a song now that's kind of the same thing. I have a couple songs like that. Like my newest song, Show and Prove, is like that. It was like one of those, like just to show people that like, yo, like one, I can really rap, one, and two, like that I'm gonna be in the next whatever space that is. Like regardless of where you think I'm gonna be at or not, like I'm gonna be whatever. Right. So it's just like it's just showing people that like I'm gonna get, regardless, even if you don't feel like I'm gonna get there, like lyrically at least, or like just rap wise, it's just
Melody.
that confidence,
Well,
like
you're going
something.
hard as hell on your tracks.
I appreciate that shit.
I mean,
man.
you can hear it resonate. So like, you're gonna kick down the door and get in there for sure.
Right. I really appreciate that shit, man.
Yeah, man.
So what's your legacy, man, when you leave here, man? What do you want to put on the earth that, you know, say that what Seddy Mac was here?
If I were to say anything, I would definitely say for me, I would say honesty, one, like being true to myself too, like the authenticity of who I am as a person. I feel like the one thing I would say is like my main thing I wanted people to really understand is like I want Lost to just resonate. That's the one thing I want to leave here for sure. I feel like that concept in general is just like super interesting enough for like if that was what that was and that was it, then I'm cool.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really seen anyone like, at least the way that I have presented it, like the way that I've seen Lost become what it was, like the life on spiritual thoughts thing, I haven't heard anyone like have that way of thinking before. And then, I mean, shit, when I first had Lost first come out, I was just having conversations about it, just talking to people like, what does Lost mean to you? You know what I'm saying? And just getting what people thought. So it was like, I'm doing like social experiments. I was like trying to go figure out what people are like, just seeing the people around, just seeing what they're doing. So
that inspired the whole movement behind that.
yeah, man. It's just nice to just really just sit back and just observe and just see like how people think or like how the way people feel, and just like even just seeing how powerful like words can be, or just how powerful like a statement of something in general like that can be. Like shit, like recipes to Nip, but Nipsey was like a very prime example of that. Like Nipsey changed the whole like dynamic of everything.
Yeah.
Just like the marathon to like what he's done out in like what he's done in LA. Like what he's done has been like so it goes past him. Like he's not here, but we still feel his presence every day.
Exactly.
And that's really just like my main thing. I want Lost not to be exactly like that, but I just want to be like synonymous with like some major
That's
like
your legacy.
Right. And that's where I think where it's gonna be at for me.
And who the people did you want to connect to, like out of that Lost movement?
Really, I don't want to say everyone because not everyone's supposed to understand everything. But also at the same time, I think I like the ones is like if you know, you know. Like it sort of seems like some secretive, like kind of like cultish shit. But it's just like honestly, it's just like it's one of those things when like when you get it, it's like because some people hear Lost and they immediately, like I said before, like they see Lost such a bad thing. Like I don't want to be lost, and they go into like the whole. I got a crazy story. So before Lost, before this design, I had another person I was contacting about making a design for me.
Yeah.
And we're contacting each other on email. And I don't know if she even gonna hear this shit, probably not. But who cares? But she had some really, really cool designs. I was using this app called Behance. And I was like, cool, I like this design that you were doing. I want to go and like, you know, make some more shit for my whatever. And I was explaining Lost to her. She sent me back like a long ass page email talking about, you know, I understand, I get the whole thing about wandering and but also being lost also feels like, you know, you don't really know. It has this directionless that you have nowhere you're going. But then she hit me with the whole Christian thing about like, you know, Jesus trying to go find, you know, trying to hit like be like the more so about being found, which I understand that, but it's also like, I don't want to. Right? Yeah. It's like that religious kind of connotation on it too. It's like I get it. That's why I'm saying not everyone's gonna understand that because then people are gonna come through with that separation too, which I understand and I completely respect. But it's just like I didn't even get a design created because she was like, I just don't feel like strong enough to go and do that because of what I feel religiously.
So that's how much it impacts. Like
right.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody adapts to it to a different degree.
Exactly, and that's kind of why I like it because there's gonna be a separation with it because not everyone's gonna be on the same way. They're gonna also people are gonna believe what they want. They're gonna see things the way they want to see it.
That's how I see about hip hop. When I say hip hop is a different vibration to certain people. Some people connect with it right away. Some people take a minute, a year later, and they're like, oh, they identify with that, and then they start figuring out what the music is about.
Exactly.
Not even me, just the music, you know? So it's definitely a powerful thing to have, you know?
So being that like Nashville is the next wave that we all anticipate coming, are there any specific artists you're looking to work with?
Even producers, too.
True.
That's difficult. There's a lot of people. I never really thought about like working too much like that. Cause I really be like, I think about this a lot too. Like I really be on my loner shit, unfortunately, but like I really be to myself with everything. Like my whole journey, even like as a musician, has always been to myself. I've been in a couple groups, so I've kind of been sort of comfortable being on myself. Even Lost for me has been like, it's almost like it's a journey in itself, almost like a lonely journey. So, but do I know a whole bunch of people that's out here that's super fucking dope? Hell yeah, but I don't know. I always kind of felt like when it came to me musically, whenever I try to work or try to reach out, it doesn't sometimes. I don't know. It just doesn't always hit all the time.
Yeah. I feel that all the time because everybody got their own pockets. Everybody got their own microcosm. You know what I'm saying? So everybody doing their own thing. So that's the hustle and grind of Nashville. Right.
But there's definitely like a couple producers that I've wanted to work with before in the past. Like I would definitely want to work with AB for sure. AB Eastwood is
AB. Yeah, he's hard.
He's hard. Shout out to him. Josephine is hard. Well, I don't want to just go and just keep naming producers all day because I'm gonna miss some. There's so many producers and rappers and singers and shit like that just out here that just goes crazy.
Respect, man. I respect the whole Nashville.
Wanted to say, where can we find your music and all your new music?
Pretty much if you look up Seddy Mac on anything, so it's SEDDYMAC, and if you look that up on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, obviously like Spotify, YouTube, Tidal. But I would say a large amount of my stuff, you want to find everything, it's pretty much going to be my Bandcamp. But I got music, a lot of music pretty much everywhere. So just, if you look up Seddy Mac on anything, you'll find me on something.
What inspired the name Seddy Mac, by the way?
So, well, first off, my name actually is Cedric McLean. So Seddy Mac is just like a half of both. But also, like, one of my cousins actually called me. It's like also a childhood name of mine too. Like, he called me Seddy Mac growing up. So it was just like, it just kind of all just made sense.
Dope.
Dope, man. I want to say first and foremost, man, appreciate your services, man. Definitely, as a vet, man, don't get enough credit, enough respect. Bless up. Found Seddy Mac. Seddy Mac. Thank you. Honored to have you here, bro.
Appreciate y'all, man.
MC2MC, host, Fondito.
Adeli.
Seddy Mac.
What's up?
Peace. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the episode, leave us a thumbs up and comment below if you have any ideas on what we can do next time.
Please subscribe and hit the notification. MC2MC give you motivation.
Heru, heru.